Aloha everyone and welcome to New Earth for Everyday People. My name is Julie Suen. I'm your host, a friend, and a New Earth guide. I want to start today's episode by inviting you to participate in a very simple mantra exercise together. And how we go about doing this is we just take a deep breath together, like that, and just relax. And from our heart space, we're going to say a very simple mantra that goes like this. I open my mind, my heart, and soul to creating new possibilities of higher outcomes. Again, I open my mind, my heart, and soul to creating new possibilities of higher outcomes. Yay! All right, let's get started. Today's episode is the first episode of this series, and we're going to focus on the subject of what is New Earth? Why is it happening, and why does it even matter to you? Great questions, right? Let's get started by explaining what is New Earth from this New Age spirituality perspective. And this has nothing to do with Eckhart Tolle's book, and it's got nothing to do with Christianity, okay? New Earth in this context is an upgrade in consciousness where our planet is making available higher dimensional levels for herself and for us, humanity. And a very basic premise of everything that I'm talking about today is that our planet, who I call Mother Earth, is a living, breathing being who has a consciousness of her own. And she, like each and every one of us and every other living thing on this universe, has an objective of expanding and evolving. So all planets have a spirit and consciousness of their own. And everything on the planet that is living is affected by the planet's consciousness. And symbiotically, all the living things on the planet also affects that planet's consciousness. So what I'm trying to say is that as we expand and evolve in our consciousness, so does the Earth, and vice versa. Okay, so that brings us to where we are now, New Earth. It's a time where our planet is undergoing a consciousness upgrade, and so are we. And many of us are actually waking up at this time as a result. And by waking up, I mean waking up to our souls, where we kind of start seeing how connected we are to the universe and everything and everyone around us. Sometimes we call this a soul awakening or a spiritual awakening. So regardless of what it's called, I consider this a pretty good thing. Okay, moving on. I'm going to zoom out for a second and talk about Earth's role in the galactic system. So planets have relationships to each other, and planets have relationships to the solar system. Earth is a part of a greater galactic system, and there within exist other beings in the cosmos. And some of these beings have an interest in assisting our planet in her evolution too. So these beings are many light years ahead of us already, and they've gone through their consciousness evolution. So these beings are here to help bring us up to speed, if you will. So New Earth conceptually started as our planet made a call out to the cosmos for help. This call happened when the level of consciousness here has reached a very stale stage where our planet felt like she couldn't evolve as a consciousness being on her own. And in a sense, us humans during that time was stuck too, and we weren't moving forward in our consciousness evolution. So as everything in the universe follows natural cycles and evolution, This cycle where we were stuck was called the Dark Ages. And right now, Earth, New Earth, is going through a relatively progressive transition. And this is sometimes referred to as the Golden Age. So where does that term come from, the Golden Age? The Golden Age is something that has been foretold by ancient wisdoms. So before I dive in further into that, I want to make a disclaimer at this time. And the disclaimer is that I'm not a scientist, nor am I a historian. I want to point this out now because I want to say from the get-go, if you try to analyze any of this information that I'm talking about today with your analytical mind, try to base it on some kind of facts, it's just not going to work. This is a New Age spirituality subject. And although you don't have to be spiritual to understand or to benefit from this information, you need to have at very least an open mind and have the ability to listen from your heart because your soul resonates with truth from your heart. If something is true on a soul level, you will feel it from your heart space. At this point, you may be wondering, why is New Earth happening now? And for this discussion, I wish to bring in the wisdoms of the ancient civilizations and their discussions of the dawn of the golden age of Aquarius. We'll start this discussion by talking about a very special date in the New Earth timeline as presented in our modern day calendars. And the date is December 21st, 2012. This date marked the end of an approximately 5,000-year solar cycle according to the Mayan calendar. This has also been called the end of the Mayan calendar. From an astrology perspective, this is also the dawning of a final 2,100-year zodiac age, where the age of Aquarius arrives, as well as the arrival of the Golden Age, which signifies the end of a 225 million year full spin of our entire galaxy, marking the end of all cycles of time. There's a lot of endings here, huh? All of this coincides with the findings of Thomas McKenna, who was an author ahead of his time. He came up with a novelty theory, which was a formulation of a concept about the nature of time based on fractal patterns that he discovered in the I Ching. In very simple terms, this theory says that the more things that happen within a period of time, the faster time feels. When lots of things are happening in the universe, then time essentially accelerates. Using this theory, he predicted that there is a transition of consciousness at the end of 2012. This date, December 2012, is what he called time wave end date, when everything in the universe starts to flow in singularity. In other words, together as one. Going back to the ancient civilizations now, there has been multiple ancient civilizations with their advanced knowledge of astronomy and astrology that shared an understanding that our sun is a gateway that directs energies from our galactic center into the earth. And they also share this knowledge that there is a galactic alignment of the sun and earth every 26,000 years. The Hindus divided this 26,000 year cycle into 4 yugas. The ancient Greeks divided this cycle into 4 ages. And modern astrologers refer to this 26,000 year cycle as the precessions of the equinoxes. This is whereby the Earth travels backwards through the entire 12 signs of the zodiac and is caused by the Earth's spin on its axial shift in relation to the Sun. Now, regardless of what you call this 26,000 year cycle, there is one similarity that is shared amongst all of these people. And that is, this cycle signifies an evolution in consciousness. And this evolution follows this natural rhythm of the universe. An example of a natural cycle of the universe is like when we fall asleep at night and wake up during the day, or when seasons change from spring to winter. A complete 26,000-year cycle of the equinoxes transitions us through the dark ages and into the ages of spiritual enlightenment. And this is what's been referred to as the Golden Age. So this is where we have arrived since December 21st, 2012. Now, the technical factual-based science may not support all of these new age theories of astrology or whatever that's been foretold by the ancients. I'm not going into the scientific facts here because that's not the purpose of my discussion. Yet, I do want to note some parallels in the physical shifts that's happened on our planet since December 2012 that coincides with these ancient wisdoms. There has been things like significant electromagnetic shifts. There has been documented dramatic increases in solar flare activities and the severity of seismic activities. Our magnetosphere is weakening. There has been evidence of unprecedented ice cap changes, as well as unexplained changes in the migratory patterns of birds, whales, and dolphins. There has been documented multiple Earth wobbles. The Earth is now spinning faster than ever before. I have provided some resources or references, if you will, in the notes of this podcast that provide some documented evidence of the things that I have just mentioned here. The reason why I am mentioning these things is because the ancient texts have foretold that during the shift of ages, cosmic events would create magnetic grid shifts and electromagnetic changes within our planet. So what I'm pointing to is that there has been documented physical evidence of these foretold changes. And bringing it back to the context of the new Earth here in the spirituality context, the increase of solar flares triggered a rapid decrease of the Earth's magnetic field and gravitational pull. These things are significant because on the consciousness level, it breaks down the density of duality or polarity consciousness on our planet. What this means is that our planet has been operating in a lower density level. Let's consider that as the third dimensional density. And some people refer to that as the Matrix, following a very well-known movie which featured the actor Keanu Reeves. We'll talk more about the Matrix in later episodes. But going back to the context of the new Earth and the introduction of the new Earth, what I'm trying to say is that these planetary changes collapse the lower density levels on our planet. And what it has allowed is the creation of higher dimensional levels. It all coincides with the physical changes that are here, as well as the effects that these physical changes cause in our own human physical systems. So what's happening in this new Earth paradigm right now is that these planetary shifts are supporting us in releasing some old, outdated operating systems that are stored within our physical bodies. And they may not be stored within our bodies, but they are stored also within our energetic fields or auric fields, if you believe in auras. And these include outdated beliefs, subconscious fears, habits, or patterns of thinking. During this evolutionary era on the consciousness level, the new Earth energies that are coming in is all about helping us break down these old systems so that we are now able to better remember fully who we are on a soul level. We are now becoming, if you will, less weighed down by fears and control-based systems that operate around us, so that we become more in tune with our higher level perceptions. You see, our bodies are actually linked magnetically to the Earth. So the expansion of our planet from the magnetic polarity of lower dimensional consciousness to the higher dimensions support us to release outdated belief systems and behaviors that do not resonate on an energetic level with the new Earth paradigms. or in other words, the Golden Age paradigms. Such things that were of a lower dimensional density level include fear, greed, hate, and violence. These were paradigms that marked the dark ages of consciousness. So these things are dissipating right now, while higher dimensional density consciousness is coming in. And love will be the dominating frequency of the new earth. New paradigms are going to replace these old systems. It has also been said in these ancient texts that in all previous cycles of golden ages, we have missed the opportunity to ascend. So they use the word ascend, but for our purposes, think of it as an upgrade of consciousness. So we've missed that opportunity to upgrade our collective consciousness on Earth. What I'm pointing to is, again, the opportunity is here right now. This 26,000 year cycle has arrived, and the opportunity is available here in the new Earth energies for all of us. This is regardless of how spiritual you are, who have you been in your past, whether you've done good things or bad things in the past. New Earth is here to support humanity. But the catch is, you have to make a choice. So this is where I segue into why New Earth matters for you now. So New Earth matters to you if you're interested in tapping into its energies to create new realities and paradigms that are in alignment with higher dimensions. And by higher dimensions, what I'm talking about here is where there's less fear, less control, and less structure. It's a place where there's more freedom and more flow for everyone. For New Earth in this context is not another place in a physical sense. It's probably clear from what I've discussed so far, I certainly hope, but you realize it's not necessarily another physical planet. It's more like a dimensional awareness. And the choice that you get to make is whether or not you want to commit to living in higher dimensional states. And if you make that commitment, then you get to experience life from these higher states where you feel less restrictions, less fear, less limitations. You will feel more freedom and love on a day-to-day level. Creating new paradigms just become so much easier. Life becomes easier. That's how I would explain higher dimensional consciousness and its effect on our day-to-day living. It's not easy to introduce this big new age concept of New Earth, but I just feel like a very easy summation that I can come up with is New Earth is created by love. It's not something that you have to be a part of. It comes down to your choice. On a personal level, I really do feel that New Earth has brought in very different energies, and it's been very palpable for me. And it's not just me that's experiencing it. I can witness it amongst, for example, my circle of friends or my family. And some of these people are not spiritual at all. But I can see how life's opportunities are just kind of flowing in and happening for them easier and faster. Ever since I was a child and I spent my childhood in Hong Kong, I've always felt like it's always been this rat race here on this planet. It's like from the get-go, you're told that you have to chase after things. You have to make yourself better. You have to be someone in this world. And it wasn't until around 2012 when my soul awakening happened. That's when I started my move to Hawaii. I'm going to talk more about my soul's evolution in later episodes if you're interested. But what I want to mention right now is that one of the biggest realizations that I have made in my own soul's evolutionary journey is the realization that the most powerful tool in solving personal problems in life or even larger world issues is always within us, because reality is not what it seems. For example, in quantum science, there's this theory of observer effect, where the theory says that the observer is affecting what is being observed. So, in a sense, the reality that you see is created by your own perspective. Therefore, to shift realities is by shifting what you see in your own perspective from a higher level of consciousness. So if you want to see a more loving world, you have to first be in the energetic state of love first. And the more that you're able to hold that energetic state, the more you will see love in the world. Everything that I'm saying right now, your soul already knows. New Earth is appearing to us now for an energetic support to help you remember who you are as a soul, to retrieve the memories that you already have in your soul. And with these tools that you gather from your soul's memories is how we may create a reality from a higher consciousness. And then everything else that we've created before from a non-soul perspective, we can just consider that an earth game. We'll talk more about this stuff in later episodes. I'm so grateful for you tuning in to this first episode of New Earth for Everyday People. I hope that I've given you a satisfactory introduction of what New Earth is from this New Age spirituality context. Stay tuned for the next episode, where we will talk more about choosing our new realities. Until next time, aloha.